So you're doing everything right. I mean, you are disciplined, you're fasting, you're avoiding all the junk food, but that number on the scale just won't budge. Or, and this is the worst, it's actually going up. It is one of the most frustrating feelings in the world, and today we are going to pull back the curtain on the hidden reasons why all your hard work might not be paying off.
Does this sound familiar? This is such a common question. So many of us jump into intermittent fasting with all this excitement only to hit a wall. So what on earth is going on? Well, it turns out there are a few surprising, kind of sneaky mistakes that can completely derail your progress. Let's dig in and find out what they are.
Here's our game plan for today. First, we're going to uncover the common traps that secretly mess with your fast. Then, we'll talk about the right fuel your body is craving. After that, we'll get into the absolute non-negotiable basics for success. And to wrap it all up, we'll look at some really important considerations for different people. All right, let's dive right into our first section, the common traps. I want you to think of these like hidden landmines on your health journey. You might be stepping on them every single day and not even know it. Okay, to really get these traps, we need to meet the two main fast breakers. First, there's insulin. You've heard of it. When your insulin levels creep up, it's like a big red stop sign for fat burning. It just slams the brakes on the whole process. The second one is a pathway called mTOR. Now think of mTOR as your body's foreman on a construction site. When it sees protein, it starts shouting, "Time to build, time to grow," which is great. But it also tells the cleanup crew, a process called autophagy, a huge benefit of fasting, to go home for the day.
So what wakes up these two fast breakers? Well, a lot of stuff you'd think is totally fine. That little splash of creamer in your coffee, that can raise your insulin. Some of those zero-calorie artificial sweeteners, yep, they can do it too. And how about that scoop of healthy collagen powder? That's pure protein, which wakes up that mTOR foreman. Even a tiny little spoonful of honey will spike your insulin, and poof, your fast is broken.
Okay, so you're being super careful, you're avoiding all of that stuff, you're just sticking to good old-fashioned black coffee. That's gotta be safe, right? Well, you might want to sit down for this one. The data is surprising. Brace yourself because this number is pretty wild. Research has shown that drinking just 2 or 3 cups of plain black coffee while you're fasting can actually jack up your blood sugar by as much as 28%. I mean, think about that for a second. A huge spike, and you haven't eaten a single thing. But believe it or not, that's only half the story. And here's where it gets even trickier. That same amount of coffee can also make your body less sensitive to insulin by up to 37%. Now, what that means is your body has to pump out even more insulin to get the job done, and this can push you straight towards insulin resistance, which is the exact opposite of what you're trying to achieve. The takeaway here? A small cup is probably fine, but overdoing it can seriously mess with your fast.
Now, this last trap might just be the biggest one of all, what you're eating when you're not fasting. I mean, this quote right here says everything. You can have the most perfect 16-hour fast, but if you break it with a bunch of inflammatory processed junk food, you've basically undone all your hard work. It's a tough pill to swallow, but the quality of your food matters just as much as the timing.
Okay, so we've covered all these hidden traps to watch out for. But listen, it's not just about what to avoid. It's also about what to lean into. So let's shift gears and start talking about the right fuel, the foods that can actually put your progress on the fast track. Here are 4 absolute power players to add to your rotation, and each one helps you out in its own unique way. You've got grapefruit, which is amazing for helping with blood sugar, sweet potato for immune support, carrot juice for gut health, and of course the incredible avocado, just packed with those good healthy fats. Let's zoom in on one of these to see how a simple swap can make a huge difference. This is just a perfect example of a smart swap. So many of us grab orange juice thinking it's healthy when our source pretty much just calls it water with sugar. Ouch. But carrot juice? It's a whole different ballgame. It acts like a probiotic for your gut, which is key for controlling your appetite. It's loaded with nutrients, and it doesn't send your blood sugar on a roller coaster. See? It's not just about calories, it's about what those calories are actually doing for your body.
All right, we've talked about what to eat and what to avoid, but honestly, your diet is only one piece of this puzzle. Now we're going to get into the foundational pillars that can literally make or break your success. If you don't have these in place, even the most perfect diet is going to struggle.
These are the big 4. First up, deep sleep. This is non-negotiable. It's when your body is actually doing the hard work of burning fat and repairing muscle. Second, stress. When your stress hormone, cortisol, is high all the time, it's basically shouting at your body to store fat, especially around your belly. Third is vitamin D. It is absolutely essential for your little cellular power plants, the mitochondria, to burn fat for energy. And last but not least, inflammation. Look, if your body is constantly fighting an internal fire, it simply cannot prioritize losing fat. And if you want to understand just how important that vitamin D pillar is, just look at this. It's estimated that a staggering 80% of people are deficient. That means 4 out of 5 people listening right now might have this huge invisible roadblock that's keeping their body from burning fat effectively. It's such a simple fix. More sun, maybe a supplement, but it's something so many of us are missing out on. Now, we all know that health is not a one-size-fits-all deal. So for our final section, we're going to look at why it is so important to tailor your approach with some really critical advice for different situations. This is a really important one to pay attention to. For a lot of men, those longer fasts of 16 hours or even more can be super effective. But for women, that exact same schedule can sometimes throw hormones out of whack. So the recommended approach is often shorter fasts, think 12 to 13 hours max, and only a few days a week. This helps protect hormone function, which is just crucial for overall health and feeling your best. And for anyone who's had bariatric surgery, the rule book totally changes. This is such a powerful reminder that a medical procedure is a tool, it's not a magic fix. Success after surgery is all about building new habits, focusing on super nutrient-dense foods, eating slowly, staying hydrated between meals, not with them, and being really careful with things like alcohol and certain painkillers. It just goes to show you that long-term health is always built on those small, sustainable choices you make every single day. So this all brings us to the final and maybe the most important question. After looking at everything from that tiny bit of creamer in your coffee to the quality of your sleep, it's worth taking a second to ask yourself, is what I'm doing just treating the symptom, the number on the scale, or am I actually addressing the real root causes, things like inflammation, my hormone balance, and nutrient levels? Because getting that stuff right, well, that's the real secret to success that actually lasts.